So first up, we've got Dan Forbush, and he's actually going to talk about how Tech Valley started.
Thank you, Chris. Good to be back. Last month, you heard about our upcoming launch of the New York Tech Loop. The launch of Smarticus, which is the platform on which we'll be creating a number of content streams, is really tied in with that. So I just want to give you kind of a preview of some of the content that we're thinking about starting to produce in about a month when we do go live with that. So Smarticus, it's a name that came to me about 15 years ago when I was running another business on the internet. And I thought, man, that's a great name for a business. So I hung on to it and knew someday I would do something with it. I thought, okay, the time has arrived, voice of the creative economy. I see it as a potential portal for the creative economy in the upstate region. At the very least, it will be a platform on which I'm developing content because basically I'm a writer. I've been in PR for 40 years. And I stepped out of PR and decided, you know what, I'm going to write about the things I'm really passionate about: science, technology, and entrepreneurship. So that gives you just a little bit of background. This is New York Tech Loop. If you weren't here last week, we gave everyone a tour of this new site that's going to launch. There are about 6 of us that are developing this. I've been doing a lot of the editorial, the description of the locations, for instance, and there's going to be a news section. And so I'm thinking that when we do go live with that, what kind of content do we want to be putting there? So here is my proposal. And actually, this is pretty well along. I've been working on this for about 6 months. How Tech Valley happened. Very few people know how all of this came about. I mean, these multi-billion-dollar investments in global foundries, SUNY Polytechnic, how it's all spreading across the New York Thruway. And it really all started with this guy. Anyone recognize him? Anyone know who that is? That guy's George Low. George Low was named president of RPI in 1976. He was the guy who saved the Apollo program after the Apollo fire. An RPI graduate, and he was named president of RPI in '76, came back to Troy, and he's the guy who started a lot of the innovations that we see today. It was under Low, for instance, that RPI started the first college-based incubator program. They created the Rensselaer Tech Park, following the model that Stanford pioneered out in Silicon Valley. And they also created something called the Center for Industrial Innovation. RPI got $30 million to do that. They matched it with $30 million from the corporate sector. And that really created the model early on for all of these ventures that we've seen since, these multi-billion-dollar investments in SUNY Polytechnic and all of these other facilities. So that story needs to be told. I happened to work with George Low back in '76. I was a very green PR guy. I had the RPI account, so I worked with Low. My job was to get him national publicity. And this is a labor of love for me because George Low is just an outstanding guy. A tragic story. He died of cancer after 8 years in the job. The day before he died, President Reagan awarded him the President's Medal of Freedom. So his inauguration was October 8th, 1976. I propose that 40 years later, on October 8th, 2016, we do something special. Anyway, we'll give you a sense of the site. Since Wi-Fi is slow, I'm not going to take the site itself, but we're going to tell the story in 2 main ways. First of all, key milestones over the 40 years of Tech Valley. So in the Low decade, extended 2 years beyond his death because the CII, the Center for Industrial Innovation, opened 2 years after his death. There were about 15 key milestones. So we'll do a story on each one of those. A substantial article or a chapter of a book that we propose to publish when this whole thing is done. So milestones will be one facet. And then people, to spotlight the key people who have participated and contributed to the development of Tech Valley over 40 years. Starting with this guy, Mike Wacholder. He was director of the Rensselaer Tech Park for 31 years. He was there when I was there, working with them, and he's been very helpful. He's pointing me to a lot of the key people who made Tech Valley happen. So we'll have interviews with people like Mike Marvin. He was the founder of MapInfo. Karen Hitchcock, she was the president of SUNY Albany back in '95. And of course, we hope to get many others. This is another, just another site that we're going to be launching on the SmartThis site. And that is the New York Brainway. This is going to be focusing on resources for student startups. We've got a real passion for student startups. I've been doing promotion of Skidmore's Kenneth A. Private Business Plan competition for the last 6 years. I just love the energy of students, the ideas that they come up with, the competitions. They're great. And so I'll try to spotlight a new student launch business every week. And then finally, looking into the future, this is walled off for now, but this will be a screenplay that will launch on October 8th, 2016. Looking 40 years into the future, the year's 2056. We're going to be 3 weeks away from the presidential election of 2056, and it's going to be set in Luther Forest. And that's as much as I'll tell you, but it'll be funny. It'll be a satire, a sci-fi satire is what I call it. It might be a graphic novel. I'm not sure exactly the format, but the story is pretty much scripted, and this will be a collaborative effort involving a number of people, I hope. So that's my pitch. I think I've gone almost 10 minutes. Am I okay? Any input, any questions? I'd be glad to answer them. As I said, we're gonna get this really in shape by the time we launch New York Tech Loop, which Chris swears is going to happen next month. Can't wait. So,
Any questions for Dan?
you're all so young, you know.